It's time for another WrestlePlanet news update, as Tony Khan reacts to Triple H's controversial comments, AEW are said to be interested in Braun Strowman, and Brodie Lee Jr trains with a number of WWE superstars. All that and more coming up in today's video, but first... This past Saturday, Impact Wrestling held the Against All Odds pay-per-view, which was main evented by an Impact World title match with the champion Kenny Omega defending against Moose. The match took place in the special location of Daly's Place in Jacksonville, Florida, which is of course the home of AEW. The match saw the Impact return of the Young Bucks, who helped Omega retain with a series of super kicks followed by a BTE trigger. They then helped Omega lift Moose onto his shoulders to set up for the One-Winged Angel for the 1-2-3. After the match, there was an appearance from Sami Callihan, who is Omega's next challenger at Slammiversary, beat down the Elite with baseball bats, with Don Callis then firing Sami Callihan from Impact Wrestling. Callihan will go one-on-one with Kenny Omega at Impact Slammiversary on July 17th for the Impact World Championship. Last night's NXT TakeOver In Your House event saw the crowning of a brand new $1 Million champion as Cameron Grimes and LA Knight fought it out in a ladder match. It seemed Grimes was set to win before he was pushed off the ladder through a propped up ladder on the ramp, giving Knight the opening he needed to retrieve the gold. Ted DiBiase then awarded the belt to the new champion after the match, which to me seems like such a nice addition to the NXT show. Elsewhere, Bronson Reed and MSK defeated Legado El Fantasma in a winner-takes-all 6-man tag, retaining the North American and tag team titles respectively. Xia Li pinned Mercedes Martinez in singles action. Raquel Gonzalez retained her women's title against Ember Moon. And finally, Karrion Kross came out on top in a 5-way main event, defeating Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano and Pete Dunne after making O'Reilly pass out thanks to a sleeper hold. The ending of last night's NXT show saw the brand's general manager William Regal tease some big changes ahead, telling Mackenzie Mitchell, "It's been 7 years since I became the GM of NXT and I've never seen so much bedlam. It's complete madness. I think it's time for a change." This follows claims from Karrion Kross that Regal has lost control of the brand, with Adam Cole sneak attacking wrestlers in order to force his way into last night's main event. Last week's episode of NXT closed with a brawl which saw security guards getting beaten up, and this is only one example of the disorder on the black and gold brand. It's unknown what Regal's comments are referring to, but we will likely find out this Tuesday. Many are speculating that he could be stepping down from his role, leading to a new general manager. Personally, and this is just speculation from me, I think this could be linked to the recent rumor that Samoa Joe is heading back to NXT, as he would make a perfect enforcer for the brand, whether that be working under Regal or replacing him. But let me know what you think this could mean in the comments down below. Earlier this month, NWA announced their first ever all-women's show named Empower, which will go down in August. Mickie James, who is the executive producer of the show, stated that she wants the best women wrestlers in the world to appear on the pay-per-view regardless of their contractual status. WWE COO Triple H was asked about this event, as well as the possibility of another all-women's pay-per-view in WWE somewhere down the line. Triple H said, "It's a funny thing to me, I just don't, so equality is equality. Equality is not, I want my own show. Equality is not, we have to have our own program. If I told you that I was making an all men's program and I didn't want women on it, it would be criticized. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I do think it's funny when people go, I want the best in the world regardless of contractual status. What? I'm sorry, but from a business person's standpoint, why do we have contractual status, right? It doesn't make any sense to me." And this is ironic since for years WWE did hold men's only pay-per-views in Saudi Arabia, but it seems Hunter may have forgotten about that one. Triple H continued his rant by saying the best women wrestlers in the world work for or want to work for WWE and said, Yeah, if you want to wrestle the best women in the world, come to WWE. That's where they are. If you want to go elsewhere and say that they are, that's an opinion, and you can, but it is what it is. Tony Khan hit back at Triple H's claims during his appearance on Busted Open Radio, claiming that there are many wrestlers in AEW who have no interest in working in WWE. Tony said, "I think where people got offended yesterday is when he said everybody wants to work there. That was like, people are confusing the two things. If you want to say like, hey, I think my show is the best, I think my product is the best, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you should feel that way. That's good. But when you say it like anybody of value wants to work here, that's not true. It's crazy. There's plenty of people who work in AEW that have no interest in working there." And whilst there are likely many wrestlers in AEW that would consider a move to WWE, it seems a little big-headed for Hunter to claim that all of the best women want to work there. Either way, let me know what you think about this situation in the comments down below. And I bet this is gonna get messy. And quickly before we continue, make sure you scroll down and hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos as we head towards 20,000 subscribers. But now you've done that, let's get on with the video. Mark Henry recently made his AEW debut and will work as an announcer on the upcoming AEW Rampage show, as well as having an influential role backstage, helping the development of talent as well as working as an advisor to Tony Khan. Henry recently spoke to TMZ and commented on the possibility of Braun Strowman joining AEW. Mark Henry scouted the monster among men during his time on the strongman circuit, leading to him joining WWE in 2013. Henry spoke of the mutual interest between the two parties and said, "Super high on my list. It's not an all Mark Henry decision, but there already is interest on both sides. Hopefully, by the time he's allowed to wrestle in August, I think middle of August, then we can have a serious conversation about contractual things of that nature, but right now there's interest on both sides." Strowman has been a free agent since June 2nd and will be available to work for any promotion when his 90-day no-compete clause ends on August 31st. As we've discussed, the 31st will be a Tuesday, meaning Dynamite will be live the next night. Henry also mentioned another ex-WWE talent who he thinks AEW should sign, that being Big Cass. He now goes by the name of W. Morrissey in Impact and is coming off the back of a big win over former Impact World Champion Rich Swann this Saturday at Against All Odds. And finally, let's end this video with a bit of positivity, as -1 has been seen training at The Dungeon, which is operated by Natalya and Tyson Kidd, and he seems to be progressing in the ring at an early age. In footage posted to his mother Amanda's Instagram account, Brodie Lee Jr. was seen mixing it up in the ring with WWE Superstar Liv Morgan, and Sonya Deville can be also spotted on the apron. Amanda posted the video with the caption, "Thank you again to Natalya and Tyson Kidd for letting us come and hang out and letting B roll around. He always looks forward to being around wrestling, and this is a safe way for him to learn the basics without bumping around. Keeping close to wrestling has been so important for the boys, and staying close to the people they have known for their whole lives has been even more important. Liv is always so patient with Brodie and they work really well together. Natty has done a great job making sure Brodie learns how to keep himself safe as well as whoever he works. Also, who better to learn the basics of wrestling from than a Hart?" Amanda also shared a photo of Brodie's younger brother Nolan playing in the rain and jumping in puddles. And maybe one day Nolan will go from the puddle into the ring too. It's really heartwarming to see the wrestlers continue to embrace the late Brodie Lee's sons, and it seems Brodie's training is coming along great. Natalya commented on the boys appearing at the dungeon and said, "We love having Brodie in practice learning to build a strong foundation like TJ and Harry did when they were the same age. Brodie did great and Nolan is always a hit. Nolan is fast becoming a dungeon mascot." -1 was then called out by CJ Perry, who was formerly known as Lana in WWE, who said, "I get to have a match with Brodie next. I am challenging him right here, right now." And as I said, this is so cool to see, and I look forward to seeing his continued development. He's going to be an absolute boss in the ring when he grows up, especially if he ends up with his dad's physique. And before you go, make sure you check out my video where I discuss 10 cancelled AEW plans we never got to see.